Shade comes from reading. Reading came first. Reading is the real art form of insult.
Now you want to talk about reading? Let's talk about reading.
But I don't have to tell you because you know you're ugly. And that's shade.
Everybody get the same damn sound. Yeah. Everybody get the same damn sound. Everybody get the same damn sound. Yeah. Everybody get the same damn sound.
Hey y'all, and welcome to No Shade All Tree. I'm your host, Miss Patty, and I'm here with
Jack Fuller.
And we're here for our final episode of the season. We're about to get into season 5 of A New Kai Tree, and that's preparing next week. We're really excited for that, so make sure you guys check that out. Streaming in all the same places, and it's also available wherever podcasts are streaming. That format is a lot different from what we do here. It's more community-based and about having discussions, sharing information, and really diving deep into like interpersonal topics. We have some great, amazing guests for this 5th season that we're really excited about. You guys saw the promo, so we're definitely gonna be doing some new things, and that's why we kind of separated the shows in the first place.
Yeah. Wanted to make sure that there was a time and place. You know what I'm saying, for everything.
And before we go on for the rest of the night, make sure you share this post. Shares go like really far. Make sure you share this with your friends. Like and love. Loves are great. And make sure you like and subscribe this post and hit that notification bell so that way you know anytime we post a new video on this channel or some new content. And most of all, because we're kind of brocus malocus out here. Make sure you join us on Patreon at patreon.com/anukaitree. And we have great exclusive content, behind the scenes features. Hey guys, actually my sister was watching for a second anyway. Merch that you can only get if you join our Patreon. We have different tiers, and we'll talk more about that when we get into the Anukai Tree this season. But yeah, make sure you check that out. And if you're ready to dive on in, I'm ready to dive on in. You ready to dive on in? All right. So as always, we have our first segment for the night, tea leaves, and that's where we sip that tea, and then we read the leaves. And our first story for tonight is Elon Musk buys Twitter for $44 billion. The tea was hot, but it was served. It's given a little lukewarmish. So woke Twitter is actually shook. After the South African oligarch bought Twitter with promises to allow more free speech. He has yet to sort of clarify what that means or lay out any plans for Twitter. Tesla stock kind of took a nosedive.
Right.
He bought back some shares a little bit earlier in the week. But really no more. So okay, we're back. Okay, so yeah, we out in the boonies, y'all, and the service is a little sketchy, so bear with us. We're gonna try to get through this show and still keep it really hot for y'all. But anyway, let's keep it going. Yeah, so how do you feel about this? Like, I have my own ideas about exactly why he did this, but how do you feel about Elon Musk buying Twitter?
Like, okay, like, I don't know, like, again, like the like certain things are beyond me as a person that's not a reformist, I don't necessarily get why it's important to anyone. Like, okay, like he'll do whatever he wants with it, like anybody who would have bought it or anyone who founded it. Like, you know what I'm saying, if the person who owned it before decided to change their mind about something, then it would just do whatever it would do. So are y'all gonna stop using Twitter or not? Are y'all gonna give, you know what I'm saying?
Well, they like some of like, you know, the upper echelon woke people like Jamila Hill and them threatened to leave if like the purchase actually went through, but they didn't make no moves yet. So like I don't know how to feel about that. I really feel like he wants those pictures of him and Elaine Maxwell that have been like floating around Twitter gone, and the only way to really do that is to like own a good stake in the company. And you know, Twitter has all these permissions for your phone and access to your photos. Wipe it from everyone's phone that has Twitter installed, and it's gone, and he can act like it never existed because he has fucking $44 billion to spend on a shithole business.
Right.
And I read a tweet that said even if you made $200,000 a day somehow from 1492 until now, you still wouldn't have $44 billion to like just sort of draw the comparison of like how much more like a single billion is more than a million.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. Like, they go into space on their fucking own,
Right.
just buying all, you know what, I'm going to buy Twitter for shits and giggles. And, like, that's where we're at now. But, I do want to share, we do have some breaking news.
Dun dun ding. Breaking news.
Breaking news. The breaking news we have for tonight is Miss Juicy Baby from Little Women Atlanta. She was reported early in the week to be in a coma and fighting for her life in ICU out in her hometown. It's reported today that she has come out of the coma, but it's been alleged that she had a heart attack or a stroke. So, you know, we're with her in prayer. I've watched the show from time to time, but that's something that like just sort of like happened today that I want to touch on real quick before we move on with the rest of the show. I don't know what camera angle I want to do right now. This is one of my favorite stories.
Lord have mercy.
For Tea Leaves. What is it? The Prince of Pan-Africanism?
Is that what he called himself?
The state of Philadelphia has barred Umar Johnson from collecting donations for his alleged leadership academy. So basically what happened is Pennsylvania issued a cease and desist to Umar Johnson to stop him from collecting donations for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG, I don't know what that means, like academy. Actually, we'll show you a little bit of a close-up of the document. And actually, if you want to see the full document, I'm gonna read from it like a little bit. But if you want to see the whole thing, you check us out on Patreon, because I've uploaded it onto the Patreon for you to see. So you could, like, if you're even one of our Leaf tier members, you can check out the document in full, and that's from patreon.com/newcountry. Well, basically, without like reading it word for word, it's saying that he doesn't have the proper paperwork to collect or raise funds for this academy that he's been trying to start for the past decade that's never materialized. So that can mean anything from like he doesn't have like a 501c3, or he's never like submitted like a charter declaration to the state. And so yeah, they've stopped him from collecting donations.
And I never agree with the state, but because he was getting these donations from us.
Oh, this was on March 4th, by the way.
Thank goodness. Because, like, whoa there. Like, whoa.
Right.
Fucking whoa. Like, get it how you live, but not how your people live. Like, that's wild. That's wild sauce.
I'm really surprised anybody was still giving him money after he was caught making it rain on strippers with hundreds, like, a couple years ago when the, like, deal fell through for, like, the first time. Like, he bought a school, which he never really actually bought.
They still giving the system their time, energy, and money to the...
I'm
no longer surprised by the things people just maintain.
I no longer feel bad for the charlatans. Like, I don't. Like, I'm just like, he's not.
He's not about it. He's not actually about it. He's just like here to like try to gain dominance.
Like, he says some poignant things every now and then, but who doesn't?
Yeah.
So like, that's no reason to follow the man.
Right.
And I'm just like over him and his types and
his whole archetype is really tired. Like sleepy.
And we're moving through these stories tonight, y'all, because we got something that we haven't done before, which I was hoping that we wouldn't have to pull out. My wig is flying everywhere because this is how angry I am. And we want to get to, at the end of the show, brand new segment that I was hoping that when we envisioned this concept that I wouldn't have to use, but the time has come. So we're moving through these stories. So the next story,
I ain't put on a wig, so that's how serious it is.
is Nene Leakes is alleging that Andy Cohen blocked her radio show. So now, I don't know how many of you guys have heard in the news.
Work.
Oh yeah, we see your comments out there. Oh yeah, and you guys can comment and ask questions anytime you want during the show. But yeah, Nene is right now in the process of suing Bravo and True TV, which is the company that produces Real Housewives, for racial discrimination. Like, one of the things that she's alleging in her suit is that the network didn't do anything around Kim, like, creating sort of like a racist environment on set, you know, saying things like Candy's house was in the ghetto or Nene's house was roach infested, not wanting to film in particular places with particular people in the network, you know, never sort of like admonished her for that and sort of like enabled it. But she's also claiming now that Andy Cohen personally stopped some of her bags. Like, she was in talks to get her own radio show at Sirius, and the production management over there had a conversation with Andy Cohen, and Andy was like, you know, she's going to ask for a lot of money because she's like one of the top paid housewives, so just be prepared for her to ask for a big check. And she feels like him doing that sort of squished the hopes of the deal. And I'm like, I personally, I can see him saying that.
I could see him saying it too,
and not think it meant anything,
right? And because,
but like it always means something.
They think things cannot mean things, especially coming out of their mouth in direction to us. They think that those things can just not mean things, and they always mean something. Always, it'd be wild how much they just want to be detached from their influence, you know.
White people throw you under the bus and not even know that there was oncoming traffic.
Right.
Like, oh wait, there was a bus?
This is a road?
At least
a street?
At least when niggas do it, they do it on purpose.
Right. I could absolutely see him saying that in passing, not even realizing how it would affect her as a woman, let alone a black woman. And
right.
The only issue I have is she would I don't know where the legal precedent is. You know, like, I don't know where the legal precedent is for you to actually like win a suit on this.
Right.
She can win a suit on the Kim stuff. There's legal precedent for that, but for the Andy, I don't know. I don't see where it is. I mean, I haven't studied law in forever. Who knows what has changed? But like, I can't see it.
The stop in the bag thing is like, yeah, it's. Yeah, Nene, you're gonna have you got an uphill battle, girl. And
against Andy, anyway, that's a real uphill battle. If you have a half decent lawyer, they're getting you this HR suit,
right?
Like a half.
I hope the money is worth it to pay what you're gonna pay in legal fees.
True that, but
I don't think anybody would have taken it if they didn't think there was some merit to it.
Oh yeah,
and it was gonna get something. So
If they might be able to utilize the okay, I'm not gonna blow your shit up. I see it. Nene for the win.
Okay, We're gonna leave that undisclosed. Maybe we'll share it later on.
In the Patreon.
Oh, yeah, cute. Sound effect got cut short. So our next segment right here on the Indukiatry is our Overcast segment, and that's where we share stories that are a little sad, but we want to shed some light on them. These stories aren't too sad this week, though. Well, we do have another divorce story. Every week in Overcast is a divorce. It's in the air. It's the retrogrades. Ashley and Michael Darby from Real Housewives of Potomac are splitting after 8 years. You know, they've been together for a while, but they're not going to continue. They're in different places in their lives, and they're not going to continue on together, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Real Tea, where he cheated on her back in 2017, she got a post note that said, you stay with me for 5 more years, and you get half. Plus, like, if we have any children, X amount of children. And it's 2022.
5 years up, 2 kids up. Let's go.
Pay up.
Pay up.
Like, you don't get with an old nigga for these type of problems that Michael be bringing.
All the work that pussy done is finally paying up.
You stupid.
It's paying up. Yeah.
It sounds
yeah,
like she
Ashley
has cashed in her pussy pension.
Yes.
And girl, get it how you live. I ain't even mad. Go get you a retired ball player. Get yourself a little Monique situation going on.
Be single, bitch. Get you a woman. Yes, fam. I'm all of it. Get you a woman. Like you really want. She could be however you want her to be.
Right.
You could afford her.
Right. Honestly,
live your life. I'm happy for you, Ashley. You could finally maybe if you back on Potomac, maybe we can see you be a little less messy in other people's lives.
Right.
Maybe you can
And Michael was down
supportive.
with the shits too. He was just messy all over the place. Could have messed up her bag with Housewives mad times from him just ass grabbing. Mm-hmm. And I'm being really loud right now. But yeah, this one, good for you, girl.
Yeah.
Good for you. They saying out here that it's possible she might not get the whole, 10 million. People's done some estimations online that she's owed because of certain conditions. But, even if she walks away with 8 and a house and, $50K a month in child support.
Yeah. A win.
A win.
A win. A first place. Did it on them.
Our next story for Overcast is one that I'm personally really surprised about. When I heard this, I read it twice because I was like, wait, what? So if y'all remember Making the Band from the early 2000s when Diddy formed the band, Chopper, remember Chopper? This is what Chopper looks like now. Let me make it big so y'all can see. Time has not been kind to this nigga. And he's maybe in his 40s. This is... But anyway, they say he out here pimping in Vegas and sex trafficking, and the police actually got him in a sting. Now, how it's being alleged that how they caught him is that he was flossing, like you can see. Okay, and we're back. Okay. Whew. Internet gods be kind to us. And I'm just like, oh yeah, he got caught by basically flossing online too much, which is young nigga shit.
Yeah.
What are you? You're in your 40s. Why are you showing
young
everything
money
you got?
shit? And I don't mean the
label.
I mean clearly ain't had money for long shit.
Why? Now, people that have left Bad Boy have had to do some strange things for some change, and we know music don't pay. And I'm not saying pimping is right, but I can see how he ended up there. and also like allegations of sex trafficking. And I'm just like, how are you getting caught up on sex trafficking charges in a state where, in a county where prostitution is illegal? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
So I know that there's violence involved.
Yeah, like it's
And
not looking good.
Top tier exploitation.
Yeah.
So it's another one of those stories I was like,
Grooming
damn.
down, probably like literally grabbing them, if not literally just grabbing them, but like grooming them.
And
really
I like
young.
Chopper. He was one of my favorites from the show, and I was like, really? And this just
What's up,
leads.
Neo?
This is just another one of those stories. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. I know we started late. Like, it's late. We usually don't do the show this late, but we out here traveling. I came up to see Bay, so we doing it when we can. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
more important than y'all. Let me stop.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe, y'all.
Like, subscribe, love.
Make sure you
share.
do that notification bell. Like, when you hear that, share this post. Loves, they go far. We're available everywhere podcasts are streaming, so make sure you check us out. Oh yeah, high and sleepy. We're about to be high and sleepy too. As soon as we finish this. Oh, my mom's watching.
Hi.
Hey everybody.
It's so nice.
Yeah, like we were saying, this is a slight departure from our normal podcast. Our regular podcast show starts next week. We have guests. We talk about like community building topics, like relationships, spirituality, like all that. This is our like fun sort of key hot topic sort of thing.
Right.
For our first time viewers out there. Our other podcast is about to go into our 5th season.
Season 5.
But yeah, I'm just sad to like hear that the like Chopper was not that he got arrested, but he was involved
in some
in
crap like
that.
this. Like, why would you? And it's just like, it's going to be like countless black women, probably. You know what I'm saying? And Latino women.
Well, is it maybe because they stung him? So like, I know they stung him because like of the fluorescent, and there's probably fraud mixed up in that too.
But it don't take
like,
countless of them. It takes 3 or 5. You know
there's
what I'm
probably
saying?
some white women involved.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, it only takes.
Yeah.
I was trying not to say the words. Listening to me, I said it doesn't take countless of them. It takes about 3 or 5 of them.
Right. No, I get what you were saying. I'm just trying to, for the soul ones like me, sometimes.
They could have missed it.
Okay. So we're gonna close out this segment right now. So this was our Overcast segment. Our next segment. So usually after here we go into like floating through the breeze, where we touch on some lighthearted stories. This week,
Lord have mercy.
no. We gotta take the earrings off. I'm not taking the earrings off.
Yeah, no, because we look too good. Where is the organ?
Wait, I'm gonna go back because it's fooling around with the music.
Let's go shade. Let's go shade. I did put the energy in the music.
So this is our all shade, no tree segment where, we shaded you, and so did the facts. Like, we gave this a week to marinate, and only because I was waiting personally to see if they would do some sort of public apology, or like a retraction or something, and mention it in one of the next episodes. But Foxhole, I want to look at that right now a second. There's a show on Foxhole called TGIF. And Foxhole is a YouTube and like streaming platform where they have different like sort of like black content, but it's also Fox. And they have their tendencies to be anti-black and homophobic and transphobic, but this week took the motherfucking cake. Like, I literally was watching the show because I'm a fan of the show, and Al Reynolds, Claudia Glover, Funky Dineva. It's a great show. It has its moments. It took a turn, and I literally had to stop watching it.
Claudia Jordan.
Claudia Jordan, what I say? Oh, what I? Oh, I'm sorry. Claudia Jordan.
The fracking?
And we're not even high.
Not the fracking. No, some of y'all don't get that. It's okay.
But damn, I just lost my train of thought. We have clips to share, so we're gonna watch these clips together.
Just understand one thing. It's transphobia.
Yeah,
it is.
At its height. We have 2 different clips actually, so we're gonna watch the first one, go into it a little bit, watch the second one, and then tear into that ass. And we don't like doing this, but sometimes you have to because you got to cut it off at the root. And really break it down to people why things like this are indeed transphobic. So let's get into this.
Speaking of black queens, 2 New Jersey female inmates are pregnant. I don't know how that transitions, but I'm just going to go with it. After having sex with a fellow inmate who identifies as a transgender woman. Y'all got that?
Yes.
2 New Jersey female inmates are pregnant after having sex with another inmate who's a transgender woman. The 2 women who have not been identified became pregnant at the Edna Correctional Facility after having consensual sexual relations with someone incarcerated in prison. Now, the transgender inmate was placed in the women's prison because of a new policy that allows prisoners to be housed according to their preferred gender identity. Now, there are over 800 women in the jail, with 27 of them identifying as transgender. What are your thoughts on the story, Al Reynolds? Do you think more people will be getting pregnant in prison? And is this a good way to get it in?
Geez, this to me defies everything that we, in my opinion, that thought leaders have been saying about or making the argument that transgender women are women. Biologically, I guess the other side can say, hey, this is an example that transgender women are not real women, because in this case, this transgender woman impregnated 2 biological women. I don't know, I'm just confused because it defies, it conflicts, it's the opposite of everything that we during this trans movement have been
your
taught.
Whole life is confusing.
So I'm interested to hear what Funky and you, Claudia, have to say about this this situation.
Q, what do you think?
So it definitely does not serve the trans movement in a positive light whatsoever, right? But no matter what we do, no matter what law we have, there are always going to be an outlier. There is always going to be loopholes. Yes, if we house biological men who identify as transgender with women, this is a potential outcome. But when we have to prioritize all of the potential outcomes and rank them, and I'm sorry, even though this happened, this is not the norm, and they're still safer in that environment, creating a factory full of babies, than they are being placed in prisons with men. Again, have a conversation with me when somebody can show me data that says, as a result of placing transgender women in the same prison with men, we're spending $7.8 million on child care and fertility care and so on and so forth. There's always going to be that one exception to the rule that people will want to lean on. This is not the norm. And my final statement on it is whether it happens or not, this, to me, their safety still supersedes the possibility of somebody popping up pregnant.
I agree with the possibility of someone coming up pregnant. I totally agree with what you say. And this was a consensual situation here. But what about when there's some non-consensual situations, when women housed with transgender women that still have their
And again, Claudia, right there, I even resent you saying that, because that's fear mongering. That's the same thing.
No, I'm not fear mongering.
No.
I'm not fear mongering.
So you're saying, and I'm just asking because it's the same argument they tried to use with the trans bathrooms. What happens when the trans person goes in there and rapes the woman? So
But Q, you're talking about people that are in prison for something.
Yeah, we're talking about people that
We're talking about prisoners. I'm not talking about the average transgender minding their business, a good upstanding citizen. The fact is that people can still get raped. Now, I'm not saying that's a trans thing. That's a man thing. That's a male thing. That's a power thing, actually. And I'm not trying to fearmonger. So please don't, please.
It's too much.
There's so many points.
It's too much. First and foremost, biological man, even Funky Dineva doing his best to try to stand up for the trans girls in that moment. Biological man and biological woman are shit terms. Period. They're shit terms for multiple reasons. One, they are offensive on multiple accounts. Two, they are all based in white supremacist understanding of what humans are and humans are not. Three, black people, y'all don't fit into that understanding. Y'all are not humans to white people, so y'all are not even men or women based on a white supremacist paradigm in the first place for y'all to be fighting this battle. Then, on top of it, okay, y'all don't understand biology enough to call anybody biologically anything. Y'all even don't understand the difference between sex and gender enough to even be able to say what a biological man would actually be. In the concept of bringing biology into the social construct that is gender. Y'all wouldn't even have the know-how to do that. So at the end of the day, one, when you don't know what you're talking about, questions are things that should come out your mouth or nothing. Okay? Or nothing. At this point, we have heard and seen your snide little snickers and grins.
Oh yeah, Claudia Jordan. Anytime anything trans is mentioned, she sort of like lights up, because I feel like Claudia is like a closeted TERF, and a TERF is a trans exclusionary radical feminist, like a feminist woman that doesn't believe trans women are women, and she kind of like snickers and sort of like, you know, like her body language when it was brought up, like she gets this smile, she's like, oh, I get to shit on the trans girls, and she takes these little covert jabs that are like sort of like, I don't know how
that transitions,
like
she said just then,
little dog whistles that she does, and I really noticed it today, and I was like, oh, you enjoy this.
She loves it.
You enjoy this, and even
we'll
beyond. Like, when the second that Al started talking, it was just like, oh my God, shut up. Because it's like, you have really, really no clue what you're talking about.
For him.
Oh, let me, he, just off the gate, conflates gender with sexuality, like, immediately. It's like, I don't know, this is confusing. Like, this throws out everything we thought we knew about trans women out of the window. This doesn't even make sense. I'm just like, your gender expression has nothing to do with your sexuality. You can be a trans woman and be attracted to other women. We have a whole episode about this.
Versus sexuality. Get your education on, because at the end of the day, like what Miss Patty just said, they have nothing to do with each other. If she's a woman, can she not be a lesbian?
Right.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about, you ignoramus, you freaking piece of freaking high yellow garbage, you freaking balding bitch, you balding bitch. Where's that from? You balding bitch. Like, get your life. Stop trying to show out for the trade. Stop trying to show out for the trade. You understand the shits, because there's no way at this point in your life you don't understand the shits when you're literally surrounded. You're surrounded.
It's kind of like what I said before, because he's bisexual.
Doing
allegedly.
it for the trade,
and but the trade including the
women.
Well, okay, if you want to,
because he's trading up his fucking integrity. If we talk about the definition of trade, it don't gotta just be men.
True. All right, we're back. And even Claudia talking about rape is a man thing.
Yeah.
So again, you revealed yourself.
As a transphobe.
You don't think trans women are women.
Period.
period, your statement clarified that, and like to even like
And
rape
then-
is a man thing,
And then to try to backtrack and say a male thing, as though women don't rape, like as though females don't rape, as though cis women don't rape, and we use cis to essentially humanize people who want to have some kind of level of their gender. What? Marry their sex, not sexuality, the biological sex, that whole biology thing. Cis versus trans, right? Period. So you, instead of using cis male, right, in this moment, or cis man in this moment, as a cis man thing to try to say like maybe they have some socialization back when, and to try to come from it from a level of you trying to understand a person, instead of trying to say this person, because they were once perceived male, as though you even know that to be true, because you can't clock that, you don't know their life. This person who was socialized male, which again you cannot clock to be true. This person who because I was privileged to know is trans, I know at some point had some maleness or has some maleness about them. This woman has a higher penchant for rape than anybody who has a vagina. Wow. Great job objectifying yourself. Great job making your womanhood predicated on nothing but your womb and your vagina and your ovaries and your fallopian tube and your cervix and your mammaries, if they work, if any of them work. Because let one of them not work and let your reproductive system not work, are you still a woman? Are you not a woman? Let literally you be up in a motherfucking
especially
place
as a woman
where
that claims
let you be someplace in where they sewing up vaginas and it can't be used whatsoever. Is you not a woman?
right.
What makes you a woman otherwise? And if it's only your vagina that makes you a woman, you got some deep diving to do, mama.
Deep. It gets worse though, and it gets worse in the sense that they start talking about kids, and the story broke ain't no story. Like they posted a picture of Zanya Wade, Dwayne Wade's daughter, kissing her boyfriend at their 8th grade senior prom. No big deal, right?
The kids are and be doing more way past way kissing.
We're gonna watch this clip. We're gonna talk about it.
Of Dwayne Wade and the stepdaughter of Gabrielle Union had social media in a frenzy after posting a photo of her kissing her boyfriend, who was also transgender. Now, in the past, the Wades have received scrutiny because Zaya started to transition at a young age. Check out what reality TV personality, Andrew Caldwell posted about the photo. I don't care about Zaya's preferences, but I do know if your daughter was 14, you wouldn't be pleased with her taking pictures of herself kissing her boyfriend at 14. Do y'all agree with Caldwell, or are people passing judgment because Zaya is transgender? Al, what do you think?
Please don't go to me first. Please don't go to me
Okay,
first.
Q, what do you think?
You know what? I never thought in
If you
10
agree with
billion
Andrew
years
Caldwell on anything
that
or
I
anything
would
else,
Right.
ever
Or-
agree with anything that come out of Mucinex mascot. I've been delivered first lady of going to hell Kojic Church, Andrew Caldwell, would ever have to say. Upon me first seeing that, for me, and I'm gay flag number one, if you were raised in a traditional Black family, whether you was hunching or kissing or not, you was not kissing no boy or no girl on no picture. And family was seeing it, right? So that was the stance that I was prepared to come here and take tonight. I was prepared to look over and say, there's a whole section of the population, particularly the Black community, that I'm just going to throw y'all in the garbage anyway, because whether she was 30 or 13, y'all were going to have an issue with her because she was trans, right? Whenever I have a trans issue, I always reach out to two people. T.S. Madison, which is my good girlfriend, one of my best friends, and trans activist Hope Giselle. And, you know, Hope, of course, she went down the whole trans rabbit hole. But I'm going to give y'all a point that Hope gave me that's going to bring it home for all of y'all. Because I said, Hope, my issue is not that she's trans. My issue is that it's too grown, regardless of sexual orientation. And Hope said to me, I'm paraphrasing, she said, there is so much nuance here, but the idea of the traditional Black family needs to be rewritten. The thoughts about who we are and what we think is too much based on the sexes. And she goes on and on and on and on. And when she said the thought of the Black family and all those old school ways of thinking need to be rewritten, it brought me to this. The first time I ever performed oral sex on a man, I was 14 in rollerblades in a park behind a tree. He was a grown-ass white attorney lawyer. Why? I had no safe spaces. Some of y'all are on here so quick to want to judge and to go on and so forth, but you was the one getting mudded out at Vacation Bible School, and then you got kicked out of the church at 16 because you shamed your whole family. There are others of y'all who were 16 and 17 running to your big brothers trying to get abortion money. You see what I'm saying? Because you knocked up your 10th grade girlfriend, so on and so forth. So the whole concept of us needing to rewrite some of these old school ways of thinking is something worth exploring. Now at 38 years old, it's a lot to ask me in 38 seconds to rewrite 30.
Let's pause here real quick, because this part we agree with, and we wanted to like sort of play this to set the stage for the travesty that's gonna occur next. And I really want to drive home, like, yes, we do need to revisit a lot of those old school ideas and mindsets, because like Jack was saying before, most of them are steeped in whiteness or respectability against whiteness. And we as Black people have not had like the space and opportunities to explore ourselves apart from that, because we keep putting that on to like our children, and we never have like explore what that really means for us. Like, who are we as sexual beings outside of the white gaze, and what does that look like? What does that mean? Who are we doing it for?
Right. Who are you not being fast for? Are you not being fast so that white people don't hypersexualize you? Are you not being fast so that they don't think that you are fast? Are you not being fast because it's actually wrong to be fast? Are you not being fast because of some false, European Christian ideal? Are you not being fast?
Trying to be chaste, right? Virginal, and blah 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 blah.
Are you not at the very least openly practicing some of your desires, at the very least something as innocent as kissing? And yeah, 8th grade, I mean, come on, 8th grade, like 8th grade, you whores were busting it wide, okay? And it's okay. That's fine. You just have to do it and be okay with what it is. And yes, a kiss was put online. Okay. So what? A kiss was depicted. Okay. Like, it's fine. It was just a kiss. And if you feel like it suggests that they did something more, or worse yet, it made you think about them doing something more than kissing, you got some stuff that you gotta work out.
It's children, but let's continue, because the licensed shenanigans are about to pour in.
38 years of indoctrination. I still in this moment feel like 14 is too grown to be kissing on a picture and displaying with the world. However, I'm at least open-minded enough to have the conversation about changing the way we think about things. Because let's face it, those old school ideals and church ways, did they really serve us for the good? And we were all doing it at that age. We just wasn't doing it on film.
Okay, Al, I'm interested to hear what you got to say about this. What do you think?
There's so many layers to this. First of all, I don't care if my old ways of thinking are good or bad. This has nothing to do with gender identity. This has nothing to do with sexuality. This doesn't have anything to do. This happens to do with a 14-year-old having suggestively kissing someone else on the internet. I just don't think that's right. I just honestly don't think it's right. That's number one. Number two, I don't think it's right for people, especially this young girl. She has been scrutinized and sexualized ever since she has come public about her trans identity. So that's a whole nother layer that just seems to me that as a parent, I would have protected. I wouldn't have allowed this out on the internet at that age. I think anyone that's not able to operate a car with a license shouldn't be kissing suggestively on the internet, especially after you've been scrutinized and sexualized about your gender identity and your sexuality. And just, I don't know, maybe I am showing my age, but I just feel like
I'm there again. It brought me back, y'all. I can't listen anymore. This is what happened to me during the show. I was like, wait, what?
He goes,
I never heard anything so fucking problematic in my entire life.
He goes on to be more problematic and says,
and scary,
and says that because Zaya's boyfriend is a trans man, essentially starts misgendering both of them because now he can't handle that it's still a heterosexual situation, and that then he brings their genitals into the situation because they haven't gotten the surgery, so they're not technically trans yet. There's no way. Again, I'm letting y'all know, people lie. I don't know if y'all seen my story last night, but it's really crazy. People lie to succeed, and people try to push this narrative that honesty gets you places when honesty will leave you broke and feeling broken.
You gotta put that on a shirt.
But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, I stole that from y'all. But she said, life will leave you broke. But for real, honestly, we'll have you out here with nothing. These people be lying to get what they want. This is a play for trade. This is a play for trade and a play for the bag. This is not a play for anything. He understands. There's no way he don't understand, okay? With the way he's surrounded. It would be different. It's not that there aren't light-skinned gay men and light-skinned bi men of his, caliber in different industries that would completely not understand. You know what I'm saying? And have these views. He's representing those people in order to have access both sexually and for the bag to those people. Mm. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is clear play. This is clear play to me. This is not real. He doesn't even believe this. He can't keep his words straight.
Well, I'm starting to not be 100% sure on that. But for those who don't understand or are watching this show and may not get what was wrong with what he said or incorrect. One, it wasn't the only people sexualizing Zendaya Wade are full-grown adults who are reading their own trauma into this child's life.
Right.
First, secondly, it was a love tap.
What is suggestively kissing suggestively
what
even
do you mean?
That's what I'm saying.
What energy are you bringing into this? Thirdly, if you can't stop yourself from constantly misgendering someone during a talk about them on your fucking job, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. And if really the difference between gender and sexuality confused you that much, like Jack said before, ask some questions.
It's not hard to say you don't know. It really isn't. It's not difficult. It's more difficult to open your mouth, stick your entire foot in it, swallow it to the knee, and then try to walk.
And honestly,
you just ask a question.
There's nothing new about this. There are technically heterosexual trans couples all the time. Trans people have children all the time. Like what we were talking about before. You brought up the and we're back. Saying, act like you know.
Act like you know, yo. But yeah, like you were saying, I had brought up when we first saw this, There was a whole white trans man who was pregnant. It was like the man that got pregnant. Remember? Y'all remember that? Like, again, this was in the news, the actual news, for months. And then, like, almost a year, because it was months after the kid got born. We were still all in this nigga's face. So, we've seen trans people have kids. We've seen it happen. So why would suddenly a trans woman who is pre-op and interested in vagina not get somebody pregnant?
And like acting like there's not a whole trans woman that has kept their parts by choice on your network.
Literally on your network.
So like literally invalidating T.S. Madison's transness right there repeatedly.
Like, I'm waiting. And didn't she have the show right after this? Did she have to do her show?
No, it's not on the same day.
Oh, I was about to say, did she have to do her show?
And hers isn't live. So
True,
it's like,
true.
But still, and the fact that there was no apology, no deeper discussion, no revisiting this topic. In fact, they kind of doubled down on with it when they talked about this whole Shauna Brooks and Benzino situation. We're not talking about that because it's kind of like, it's hard to know what's the truth and what's to make of it.
Yeah. And
so
we like getting in people's relationships. We like divorce proceedings are legal.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's going away. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a thing happening in divorce proceedings.
If you pumping the girls and whatever, I'm like,
we can't.
The conversation is late. It's late.
It's late. It's going.
But this, and we have to stop doing this. This is what, when you do this, this is when you're actually sexualizing children.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Making it so that
a 14-year-old is developing a sexuality.
Right.
Let them. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's gross and weird.
Right. Making it hide, making them have to hide it. Why? Because like you're uncomfortable that this child is like seeing themselves in a potentially sexual way and figuring out what that feels like. Ooh, like again, you should check that. I teach high school students, and middle school students, the shit that they be talking about. Their parents know, and
in sixth grade,
the sixth grade, y'all. The shit that they be talking about. I'm not uncomfortable. I was talking about the same shit. Stop acting. Act like you know. Stop acting shook and surprised. You was talking about the same shit, and all you gotta do is sit there and be like, God damn. Don't humans human, huh?
Personally, I'm like, oh, you found yourself a little trans boyfriend. Good job.
Good
look
job.
At you. What one in a million thing. Also, I'm like, I'm a little upset because like they're, but whatever. It was bound to happen. Where you living, I was like, it's a good 50-50 chance. So, and Zaya strikes me as like one of the weird alternative kids anyway, so it was more than likely that's where we get pushed towards. That's a whole episode in of itself.
Yeah.
But
and of the Anukachi podcast.
Yeah, TGIF. Somebody tell them, like, if you watch the show, know somebody. We got beef.
We got beef. Leave trans people alone. Just stop talking about us.
And we need an apology.
I don't want shit from y'all. What I want from y'all is to literally stop. Just stop talking. Stop talking. Y'all don't have the bandwidth. Y'all don't have the education. If y'all gonna talk about us, you need to have a trans person literally on the show. And they need to be a regular because our names are in y'all mouth literally almost every episode. Period. They don't need to be a guest. They need to be a motherfucker. Get out off of there and put a trans bitch on there. Get out off of there and put Hope. Get Hope on there, and I will stay watching.
Right.
Get out over there, period, and put Hope on there, and I'll stick watching. But at the end of the day, you're not getting my eyes. Whether this one lets you get the views or not, you're not getting my eyes because I'm done with y'all. Y'all keep all of my people's names in y'all mouth, and y'all degrade us on a regular basis.
And how you gonna like quote Hope, but yet have a episode where you're gonna bring up two very sensitive trans topics and not have the bitch there, especially with Al's stupid ass.
Right.
Y'all not even trying, but it's Fox.
Y'all not doing the work, but it's Fox.
Anyway.
So again, that's why I'm just not participating. I'm not a boycotter, but I save myself the stress.
And with that, y'all, it's late. We gonna let you go. But make sure that, again, you like and subscribe, you share this post, let people out there know about this popping content. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, YouTube, Patreon, Facebook, Instagram. Everything is at Anukai Tree. Make sure you support our Patreon. It's really affordable. You can help keep this podcast going. Basically, you're a monthly subscriber, and we have different tiers. We have merch. We have exclusive bonus content that's only on Patreon. Thank you for joining us tonight. This has been a great, little 4-episode foray. And make sure you stay tuned and check out the New Kai Tree Season 5 premiere next week. We have 2 great guests, Richie and Xavier. They're 2 YouTubers who do a lot of tradition, relationship stuff, but they're 2 gay guys, and it's really cute. They do pranks and stuff on each other, talk about their relationship, and do relationship vlogs. So we're gonna have them on, and we're gonna be talking about supporting your partner. That's our first episode of the season. So make sure you check that out next week. Episode's gonna be posted on Sunday at 3 p.m. Thank y'all, and thank you for sitting with us. Peace, and have a good night, y'all.